Young Mage, I'm Rhino.
I'm Papa Mage.
And I'm Speedy.
And this is our 5th anniversary video. Now, we started with recording in August of 2015. And we didn't post until about middle of September of 2015. So somewhere around this time period is where you would call our anniversary. So we've got like a month-long anniversary going on here. And, you know, the number one question that we always get is why Young Mage? And let me tell you, Rhino started playing at the age of 7. And he was playing because he was dyslexic and he could actually read these cards. So that was the amazing thing about Magic. And he was playing and he just wanted to learn how to play better. So what do you do when you want to learn how to play better? You look for other sources. And we looked at all these other sources and, you know, we saw like the professor was there and a couple of people doing finance stuff, and a lot of people doing tuning your deck for the Pro Tour. He was 8, turning 9 at that point. He wasn't ready for the Pro Tour. You know, he's not like Dana Fisher.
No.
He was very much, you know, just trying to learn to play better, to interact with people at a local game store. So since we couldn't find anything to help a young player, we decided to make it. So we created the Young Mage channel.
This video is going to be about is magic. Now, the rules of magic is, well, number 1, no cheating. Number 2, you can only bring out 1 land per turn.
Unless the card tells you otherwise.
Yeah, like my dad says. Number 3, you can
And Rhino created the tagline for it, which is
Reaching and teaching young mages of all ages.
Because we knew from the very beginning that we weren't necessarily focusing on absolutely young players. We were focusing on new players, be them young or old. And, you know, that's really helped out a lot. And we'll get into that in a moment. But we started when he was around 9, and we started making content. And at one point, we had gotten up to like 60 subscribers. And, you know, we're starting from 0. We didn't know anybody in the Magic community. We didn't have a presence anywhere in there. So we were just slowly grinding to create content and posting where we could and trying to get some interest. So we had like 60 subscribers. And then a GP came to Charlotte, North Carolina, which wasn't too far away from us. So we decided to go down and see what it was like. And while we were there, we created like little business cards. And so we were passing out business cards. And one thing happened where at the, no, this is another thing. I know what you're thinking, but But we were walking through the hall and somebody said, "Oh, hey, Young Mage." And it caught him off guard. He was like, "Huh? Somebody knows me?" He only had 60 subscribers. I mean, there's hardly anybody. And somebody knew him just out of the blue. So that was his like first moment of just, you know, surprise. But he ended up meeting some cosplayers there. Someone dressed up as Nahiri. And someone dressed up as Archangel Avacyn.
Yes.
Which I think that was Christine. So, you know, that was kind of neat. We got pictures of that. And then one of the things we were doing there, we wanted it to be kind of a business trip, if you want to call it that. And so we were passing out these little business cards. And Rhino was going around passing them out, and he passed one to someone. Actually, he was kind of scared to approach this person because they were, because they were eating lunch at the time. And so we kind of waited until they were close to the end, and you went up and you passed it to.
I passed it to a WotC employee.
Yeah, so someone from Wizards of the Coast got his business card, and she looked at it and she went, "Oh wow, this is so cool!" Because she saw him, and she's like, "Is it all right if we send him something?" And what am I going to say? No. Sure, go ahead. Well, he ended up getting contacted with the community manager at Wizards of the Coast, and they sent him some stuff, and we did a product opening. It was great fun and all that. And then, well, we started getting preview cards. And our first preview card was
River Hoopo.
From
it was Hour of Devastation.
Hour of Devastation.
Yeah.
So we came up with this great idea, and we had a little drone at the time. So we did some recording with that, and we mixed it together. It was a lot of work for what we were doing because we were doing very simple videos at the time. And oh man, we got so much positive response from that. And we started getting more and more of these preview card videos, and later Speedy started participating in those. She was the Clan Guild Mage at one point. She was, kind of like Chandra, doing Chandra's Spitfire, I think, when we got that. So she helped out with that. And, with all this, we're still not sponsored. Okay, hashtag still not sponsored. No one really sponsors this channel other than the patrons.
The patrons help out a lot.
Yeah, they help out a lot. That little bit of money that we get helps us get other equipment, and we save it up. I mean, we actually save up the money to put back into the channel, and we get the better cameras, we get a better microphone, and we just slowly, incrementally upgrade. We don't get rid of anything unless it just completely disintegrates. So we've got like a whole bunch of cameras, and that way we could start doing things like the streaming. We started doing cardboard combat, and we were streaming out to YouTube, and not to Twitch at the time. And we created this nice overlay to bring up large versions of the cards. And Speedy got in on one of those gameplays, which we thought was really cool. And a lot of people really like having Speedy pop in. And ever since, she's done some other things, and she's played against like Pixie Kitten. She really likes playing against Pixie Kitten. So you'll see Speedy more and more on streams. As we were going with this, we weren't streaming the same way everyone else was. We weren't in the game to show how we could win the game specifically, or how we were better, or how the deck was better, or whatever. We were always in this mode of teaching. So there's times that we'll show the cards that are in hand. We'll say, hey, I'm thinking that they have this card, or they're going to do this thing. And then we'll show the hand as like, oh, okay, no, they didn't, but I'm still going to go with that mode because that's what I was thinking, and show how the game plays out. So we're always in this teaching mode within these streams.
Yeah.
All right. So streaming was always good, fun. They're long. They're great for YouTube algorithm stuff and all that. But our biggest videos has always been the
New player mistakes
and the how to play videos. Every time a new game mechanic comes out, Rhino will do a 3 to 5 minute long video about that game mechanic and go through and explain, all right, here's the mechanic, this is how it works, show how it works, and then these are some of the things that you might not realize about this. How can you use proliferate against your opponents on their own cards, stuff like that. So stuff like that is really cool, and we get so much positive response back on those. And people will say, I read about this, I had people at my game store try to teach me this and I couldn't understand it, and I saw your video and now I understand. And a lot of times we get those in other languages and we have to use Google Translate to figure out what they said. And it's like, so they're even understanding based off of just his English responses. And I think one of the very positive things about the channel has always been we've been using his vocabulary, his level of vocabulary on everything. So even though I have this massive vocabulary, we always go through and we make sure that it's something that he understands and it's something that he can easily say and it makes sense to him and all that. Therefore, it will make sense to another young player or a new player or someone that speaks a completely different language. So we also got invited to Magic Fest Vegas, the 25th anniversary. And we did our first Kickstarter to do interviews of people. And that went really, really well. Got a chance to interview Tappy Toeclaws, Mark Rosewater, one of your favorite, Ruben Bressler. And on top of that, a bunch of new players. So we can look back at those videos, and when they end up coming up in the ranks and they are the next best player or something like that, we've got an interview of them when they were really, really young. So that was fun. So we've been doing all of that stuff. And then last year, actually the year before, we decided that we were going to sell the house. There's a couple of reasons why we wanted to sell the house. The house we had was just way too big and was taking up way too much time and energy for what we were doing. And we decided that we wanted to hit the road. We wanted to buy an RV and travel the United States and go to game stores and go to all these GPs and travel and teach new players. And we started doing that. And last year, we taught over 100 people face to face. We gave out over 11,000 cards. Now, we got those cards from Magic Kids and other people who have donated, but mainly Magic Kids. And we built decks, and they put these decks together, and we taught them how to play. And when they were done, they got to keep them. And we had piles of dice, so we gave them dice. We gave them a start in Magic. And whenever they learned how to do it, we gave them a pack or 2 or 3. And those were donated by Wizards of the Coast. So this gave them like this whole experience. And that was just amazing. And we wanted to continue that this year. And then all this craziness of 2020 happened. So we are changing some stuff.
Yeah.
Because we can't meet that many people face to face and not the same respect that we used to. But we still do. So let's go about the future and tell you some of the things that are going to be happening. Number 1, we have a new logo. And actually, it's not really a new logo, it's an old logo. Speedy drew this about 8 years ago. Rhino and Speedy had started a Lego channel, and they had come up with Speedy Rhino Productions, and Speedy drew this logo for the channel, and they built this city, and they were doing a script and all that, and it was going really good. And after working on it for like 6 or 7 months, it just
fell apart.
It fell apart. And they just needed to do something different. But Speedy drew the logo, and we have taken that old logo and we've made a new digital logo. And so that's the number 1. Number 2, we're going to start teaching new players Commander. Commander is based off of Magic, and it's easier to teach, just a 2-player game. But there's a lot of people that are coming to us and saying, hey, I've heard about Commander. Commander's amazing. My local game store has got Commander. How do I do that? And so we are going to be giving out deck techs on Commander and teaching people how to play Commander. And it's going to be at the same, I don't want to say low level, but at the same more simplified level, more easy to understand level. You can go to a lot of places and you can see them playing Commander, and they'll discuss it and stuff like that. But then they get into specifics of one of the difference between card draw and card advantage, and the number of why is Soul Ring the most powerful card versus it. And new players don't need to know all of that stuff. They need to know some of the basics. So one of the things we want to do is we want to be able to give them their first Commander deck. Now, we're not talking super expensive Commander decks. We want to create low-cost, high-synergy Commander decks. So what we're doing is we are going to be creating
my first Commander deck fund.
So this fund is going to be something that will be on the Young Mage website, youngmage.com. And there are 3 different ways to contribute to this fund. One is money. We need money to buy the cards. We will use what cards we have. We will find what cards we have, and we will put them into those decks. If we get cards donated by Magic Kids and we can find those and we can put those in, we'll definitely do that. But there are very specific cards that you need for a deck, and we'll need to purchase them through Cool Stuff Inc., which has helped out our channel a lot, or TCG Player, or Card Kingdom, or whatever. Number 2 is we're going to have a list of cards that we need. So if you happen to have those cards and you want to just send those, we'll have a place where you can send them, and they will go part of the deck. Or hey, if you've got a Commander deck that you want to just donate the whole Commander deck, send that along, and we'll happily do that. Now, what do you get what do you get for helping out this my first Commander deck fund? Well, number 1, we're going to be doing deck techs on these Commander decks, and we will shout out your name as being a contributor on this deck. If we do a video with the person that we're giving this deck to, then you'll get a shout out on that as well. Now, the person that's getting the deck will have on the deck box or whatever who donated cards to their deck. So they will have a reminder of people who've actually helped out getting them started in this.
Yeah.
And if that's a company that donated some things, that's fine. We'll put that on there. But if we can do a video And I say if we can. There's some people that we teach, actually a lot of people that we teach, that we say, hey, can we get a video of y'all playing? They're like, no, I don't really. They're like, I'm camera shy. I'm camera shy. Are you camera shy? A little. That's why she keeps looking up. But they're camera shy, or their parents say, no, we're not going to have my kids on any YouTube channel. They might find us. Most of the people that we've met live in an RV, or they're at they go to a game store, and it's not in our hometown. So how's anybody going to know? But that aside, if we do a video that has something like that, we'll give you a shout out in that as well. And so that is one of our big things coming up, is that my first Commander deck fund, so that we can start giving out Commander decks to new and young players. And most of these Commander decks are going to be under $25. So we're definitely doing deck techs on these. And these deck techs are going to be pretty interesting, I think. And the deck techs are going to be more along the lines of how to play it, as opposed to what is in it. Because we want that person to be able to come back and look at that video and it's like, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do with that card. That didn't make any sense to me. And there's times that we build decks for Speedy, and she doesn't know how to use some of these cards, and I'll tell her, hey, you want to play that? And we're like, why? Because it does this. Oh! And then she gets all excited about it. So we got more deck techs on the way. And, of course, more streaming. Since we do live in an RV, our internet is based off of cell phone internet. So cell phone internet is spotty at best. There are some places that we go that we get incredible bandwidth, and we can easily stream. There's other places where we can't. So we can't have a regular streaming schedule, but we can definitely have a regular upload schedule. And we're going to continue with at least one video a week, probably two, and going on from there. So let's see here. Now, I didn't tell you we've got another channel that just started.
Yeah.
So, since Speedy is our local artist who created the logo for the new Young Mage channel, Speedy's going to start doing Speedy Doodles as her YouTube channel. And I don't know how often she's going to do a Speedy Doodles, but lately she's been drawing anime characters. She's kind of created her own style on some of these anime characters. So we've got the channel set up, and we'll have a link to it in the description. And so please be on the lookout for new videos from Speedy on that. And we've got a Kickstarter that is in the planning phases right now. It is going to be something cool to do with Commander. There was an idea that Rhino had a while back, and we played it out some, but now we want to formalize it and kind of come up with a nice little Kickstarter to go with it. We also have some other videos that we've been working on for quite some time that deal with electronics and magic. What are we going to do with that? I don't know. So, we have gotten, we always get these questions. And so I wanted to quickly go over these questions. We always get the question of, hey, what is your favorite color pair?
I'm 5-color. Sometimes I do Gruul, sometimes I do Boros.
So red and white, red and green. He does red and black. Red's often in everything he does. He's got that passion about him. Speedy, your favorite color pair? Azorius, blue and white. She's very much into order. Okay. everything has to be perfectly in order. Actually, it's because of angels and spirits. She likes angels and spirits so much. That's her thing. So, and my favorite color pair is 5 colors. There's times I go completely colorless. It doesn't matter. I've been playing Magic since 1993, September of 93, so it's been quite some time. Let's see. We often get a question of what is your favorite format?
What is my favorite format? Commander.
Speedy's favorite format. Speedy likes games that are short. So she'll play a Commander game as long as people don't take a long time. As soon as they start taking a long time, or they start slowing things down, she gets bored. I would say I don't really have a favorite format. I do play Commander a lot because Rhino plays Commander a lot. And we do test and test and test and test everything. So we've got videos coming up like how to upgrade pre-con decks. And we run them through 20 or 30 games before we come back with our input. It's not just hey, we thought this might be good. We actually test them and test them and test them.
Yes.
Let's see. People always ask, hey, where did their nicknames come from? Or where did all y'all nicknames come from? Well, Rhino came from...
Well, when I was little, I did not walk. I charged.
Yeah.
And he said, we don't have a little boy, we have a little Rhino. So that's how I got my nickname.
He would pull himself up, he would turn, and he would lean his head forward, and he would just charge until he ran into something. And then he would turn and run into something else. And it's like, okay, well, that's Rhino. Speedy, your nickname.
I don't know how I got my nickname, but I know that it's the name of Green Arrow's sidekick.
Yeah, Green Arrow's sidekick. I used to do a lot of archery. I was once considered for the Olympic archery team, and so I had gotten a nickname in college of Green Arrow, and so my daughter, of course, had to be Speedy, and so my nickname of Papa Mage was actually given to me from a guy at our LGS. When we started telling them that we were starting the Young Mage channel, he said, well, then you must be Papa Mage. And so that kind of stuck, and it kind of fits. And so we go on from there. Let's see. Where are we going to be going next? Where are we located now? All those, the hard part with that is we change locations about every 3 weeks or less. So we do tell our patrons where we are or where we're headed. And as we start creating a larger circle going out, we can start hitting larger areas. But we have some interesting things that keep us coming back to North Carolina on a regular basis. So we are circling out from North Carolina, and hopefully in a year or so we'll be able to circle out much, much further and go to events when the events start back up again. So that's pretty much what we have for our 5th anniversary video. It's a look back and a look forward, and a little bit of information about how we got where we are now. And hopefully, if you found this interesting, if you're still here, hey, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And put in the comments any question you want us to answer. We're going to make sure that we answer every question that comes into this video. So let's see. Anything else? You got anything? No? Okay. Well, we've got more videos coming out soon. And until then,
Speedy,
Papa Mage,
and Rhino
shuffle back into the library.